So, today I wanted to go over the wild and wacky history of WWE figures, ranging all the way from the LJNs of the 80s, all the way up to this brand new Monday Night Wars 2026 Roddy Piper I just picked up from Walmart. And on top of that, I have a lot to show for example, and I'm going to go over all the different eras, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So of course first we have to take it back to the 80s, specifically 1984, when a little known company known as LJN
bring home all the action. And now the WWF Superstars bring home all the action from LJN.
Produced these 8-inch rubber figures for WWE. The two I have here is Macho Man Randy Savage and Jake the Snake Roberts. They produced these from 1984 to 1989, consisting of 6 different series, all with different superstars in them. I used to have my Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, King Kong Bundy, many others, but I don't really know what happened to them. I was honestly really lucky to be able to find these guys, and if you can actually find some of the misprints from these sets, like the Macho Man without the stars on the trunks, that is worth big money. And these figures are actually very durable. That's one of the things they're noted for. You know, they're fully rubber, not very bendable at all. You know, these aren't the posable figures of nowadays. These are definitely solid figures, nice little smack together. I don't have as much to say about these because it's pretty simple. Just 6 different series over 5 years of the 80s. But these were very popular. These are like the type of figures my dad would have played with. I mean, you know, a lot of your parents maybe, or if you're older watching this, maybe you remember these. Yeah, I don't have much to say about the LJN line other than these figures honestly hold up very well. You can tell mine are played with. I think I actually got them from an auction many years ago. And although it's in very poor condition, I actually still have my ring from the 80s. This is one of the original LJN figure rings. You can tell because it's huge. Big enough for these guys to fit on. Yeah, I don't have the ropes or anything. I don't have the steps. I used to, but I was a kid playing with this and did not respect it as a collector like I do now. So if you haven't mint one of these, you're a lucky guy. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next line, Hasbro, which actually has a lot more interesting things to say. So after the LJN craze of the 80s, the licensing to WWE figures was briefly passed to Hasbro in the early 90s.
Savage power of the Macho Man guaranteed. The fury of the Hitman. The fire of the Dragon. And the bite of the Bulldog. The Undertaker will bury those stiffs. Not with these WWF figures for a while. Check out those pythons.
Specifically from 90 to 94, these figures you see right here, which are about 4 to 4.5 inches tall. But I want you to take a look at these 4 figures right here and tell me if you notice anything different about them. And I'll tell you what's different about them. These 2 on the right are official Hasbro figures, both made in the official lines and released by Hasbro. These 2 right here are actually knockoffs. These right here were made by a European company known by Simba Toys, and they were released around the same year as Hasbro, made to look exactly like these figures. Yo, and just so y'all know, little editor's note, I was actually wrong about this. I'd done my research earlier and scanned these figures trying to figure out exactly when they came from and what line they were from, and the AI overview on Doodle actually lied to me and told me that these were knockoffs, but they're actually not knockoffs. They're all official Hasbro figures. So I'm gonna leave this part in, but just disregard the fact about them being Simba, all right? But this Jim Duggan right here, and this, what I believed to be Ricky Steamboat. Nah, bro, trust your gut. It's because that is Ricky Steamboat. But yeah, these 2 right here are actually not official Hasbro figures, whereas these gentlemen right here are official Hasbro. So that's one of the things that I wanted to get into with this video is I didn't even realize I had completely forgotten about all the knockoffs, and I can't even get into all the knockoffs in this video because God, that would take forever because every country has made reproductions of official WWE figures, but I feel like the European is pretty similar to ours. So I just wanted to show you guys an example of one of the ones that I do have. And yeah, honestly, that's about all it is for Hasbro. They only made these for about 4 years. So they didn't really get into them a lot. I don't own many Hasbros, not nearly as many LJNs as I used to have. But these are just kind of figures I've collected along the years once I got into collecting WWE stuff. So guys, I'm never trusting doing research and not just going with my gut again, because I could have swore that these things I'm about to show you guys were the 1999 WWF walkie-talkies, which they certainly are. But when I scanned it to try to figure out on Google AI like exactly what it was when it came out, it told me that it was produced by Toy Biz and was one of their tough talking action figures. Again, just ignore that and just keep in mind that I do know what I'm talking about, and I need to quit even trying to research outside of my own brain because it just apparently does not end up well. Now, before I move on to the next big line of WWE toys, I wanted to bring up a company called Toy Biz, who produced these beauties in 1999 featuring Kane, Austin, which I have both of here, made these, and they actually play sound bites. I'll see if I can find a video to show you guys of one doing that. But these, unfortunately, neither one work anymore, probably because they've been sitting in my closet for like 10 years. But honestly, I really like these guys. As you can tell, they're not very, you know, the arms move, but they're not very posable, flexible, anything like that. So not really the best for like a young kid, but these are some pretty cool collectibles to have. And I'm honestly kind of thankful that I have them because I was looking on eBay and there's honestly not many people even selling these. So I don't know if that's just low demand or if there's not that many of them left anymore. But yeah, comment down below which ones of these figures you guys have. And let's move on to one that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably started with. So as I mentioned, Hasbro only made the WWE toys from 90 to 94. And there was a 2-year gap where nobody technically had the rights to it. But in 1996, Jakks Pacific.
How's it going, Benza? You little punk. Hey, wait just a minute!
Oh no. Collect Superstar Series 5 from Jakks, available at most retailers.
Because Stone Cold said so.
Which is a company that I started out getting once I had actually already had Mattel figures just because of the age I am, but I know a lot of you guys probably started with these figures. I'm talking about good old people like Booker T. We have Kurt Angle from 2001, which that's pretty awesome because 2K can't even put that model in the damn video games, so it's good I have a figure of it. We have Shane McMahon. Not nearly as controversial as the other McMahon. We have a one-armed Jakks Pacific Eddie Guerrero here. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on these figures, guys. If they're not, I very much apologize. We have Gangrel, member of the Brood. If you're a 90s fan, I'm sure you remember. Rikishi. Hold on, let me stink face the camera real quick. Alright, man. So there you go. And then this figure right here. Now, Jakks was kind of weird because they had ones that were more stiff like this, you know what I mean? And then they also had these more kind of malleable, you know, rubber ones that were a lot more flexible. And I believe this is meant to be Jesse James' Road Dogg. With a lot of these figures, the detailing was not it on them, so it's kind of hard to tell. And when I say the detailing was off, you know, I don't mean to be harsh, but there's some figures like this here Triple H that, you know, even though the camera's not really wanting to focus very well, I think you guys can tell if you know who Triple H is that the gear's pretty accurate to around the late 90s, but this face right here is not Triple H. I mean, you know, I get it, it was the 90s, but, you know, what are you gonna do? And then we got Rick Martel here, I believe. Or is this Val Venus? This might be Val Venus. Guys, I don't know. Like I said, some of these figures are hard to tell. You got some more like this Shawn Michaels right here. This is honestly probably one of my favorite Jakks figures that I have. And then you also have some people like, is this fucking Ivan Koloff? I don't know, brother. I'm not sure who this one is. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is honestly kind of a trip down memory lane because I just opened this box of Jakks toys, just wanted to open them up and look at them on camera while I'm doing this video. And we have this Undertaker right here, which, wow, that's one hell of an Undertaker. I'll have to pop up some pictures of these guys as well so you guys can see it better, but Jakks was a company that did a lot of cool things. They had a lot of cool play sets as well. Look at this, man. I added the blue tape, so that's not typically there. I wanted like an entrance, you know, whatever you want to call that, a apron for the entrance ramp. But this has the scaffolding. I used to line my figures up on this hoe and bah, you feel me, right off onto them. And speaking of somebody who's great at that, this beautiful Mankind right here. But yeah, this entrance stage at one time made sound as well. I tested it and unfortunately I don't think it works anymore. Yeah, as you can tell, the button just doesn't work. It may need new batteries, they're probably corroded. But it has the pictures of a lot of the Attitude Era superstars up there. I really miss shit like this because the way Mattel, which I'm not gonna get into much right now because oh boy, your time's coming, Mattel. But the playsets that we get now just don't look as good as these. And I don't have any of them, but I wanna pop up some of the backstage playsets that we used to get. I believe Jax made some of those, that's why I'm putting it in this section. If you didn't ever own any of that stuff, definitely, if you're a collector, go back and look into it. So from 1996 to 2009, Jakks Pacific had a hold on the WWE IP. They were the main ones producing figures along with many multiples of knockoffs, which I didn't research every figure I'm showing here, so I'm gonna be real with you guys. A lot of these probably are knockoffs of Jakks figures and only a select few of them may even be official. And that's just honestly how it works, because with WWE figures, as you're probably finding out from this video, it's kind of a wacky, weird world where you never know because they make such good knockoffs. Yo, and I'm not gonna lie, before we're done with Jakks, I have to give them a shout out again for this entrance ramp and the fact that they gave some figures the ability to actually have magnets on the bottom of their feet that went with this entrance ramp to where you could stand them up, because obviously a lot of the older figures didn't come with stands, were pretty hard to stand up. But this guy right here actually has a magnet, as you can see on the bottom of his foot right there. And I believe this is supposed to be Edge or Christian. Maybe Chris Jericho, actually. You know, maybe this is Jericho. I don't know. It could be any of them. He's also missing a hand. Probably needs a hook there. But yeah, I'm going to quit yapping about Jakks. But man, this was a honestly really solid time in figures. So before I move on, I do have to quickly mention these figures by the original San Francisco toy makers that came out in 1998 and were a WCW figure line. So while Scott Steiner and Big Show are both known, you know, from multiple companies, these were actually WCW specific figures. Now, I normally wouldn't put these in the video, but I just figure anybody watching this will probably find it cool, so I'm not gonna yap about it too long. But they actually used to have where you could press this button, you know, they would move their arms and punch. But again, me playing with them as a kid definitely fucked them up. So RIP to the Giant, as he was known back then, and Scott Steiner, both still alive, but you know what I mean, RIP to these figures right here. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, strap in, because now we've came to Mattel, the current maker of WWE toys ever since 2010.
Slam into it with WWE and Mattel. You want action? Get the new lineup of awesome rings. New superstar action figures with serious detail. Rey Mysterio, CM Punk, and Triple H. And be your own superstar with these new championship belts. Collect them all. Come and get it.
And oh boy, has there been so many different eras of figures and different types of figures made by Mattel. Just a couple that I want to talk about real quick. I used to have so many of these little things. Rumblers from 2010 to 2013. This is the only one I could actually find that I believe I still have, is this Booker T right here. It's Booker T Rumbler. Now these are probably the smallest WWE figures to ever be made, honestly. They made a ton of them. I remember I probably used to own like almost every one of them, and they were all about this size except for like your Big Show's, Brodus Clay's, if anybody remembers him. Those were a little bit bigger, but yeah, these were only made for about 3 years, and I fucked with them pretty heavy. They used to have some really cool play sets with this too. Like I remember I had a truck that used to put them in. I really wish I still had all the stuff I ever had from WWE, because this video would be a lot better for it, but thank God for pictures. And yeah, that's Rumbler. And unfortunately, I don't have any of them anymore, although I used to have a whole collection of them, much like with the Rumblers. But Slam City from 2013 to 14 was another line of WWE toys that had a bunch of vehicles and very stretchy toys. We're talking about the LJNs not being stretchy. These were like probably the most malleable WWE toys ever. And I'll be popping up pictures of these as I'm talking about them too. But man, yeah, Mattel obviously made all of those and a bunch of other just random lines, but I don't have any of the other figures right now. But I do have some of the kind of weird, wacky ones they did. like this undead Triple H right here. They made a zombie line of figures, and I think they actually have made more recent ones since then, but this was about 2014 probably when these were made. So while looking in my Mattel box, I actually found these two Jakks Pacific figures, and I think they were in there because they're two of my favorites. You got Bubba Ray Dudley and the Boogeyman. This Boogeyman figure and this Bubba Ray, even with his fist taped up, because I did that. Both of these are fucking awesome figures from Jakks. I just had to put those in here too. I'm sorry this video's all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just pulled all my stuff out and was really excited to talk about it, so please bear with me here. But we are gonna try to touch on as many different things as we can, because I did find this Roman Reigns zombie action figure as well to go along with the Triple H one, and I do believe I have some more of these. So after we get done looking at some more of them, I'm actually gonna go through a big chunk of my collection and show you guys a lot of cool ones, I think. But first I wanted to talk about the Elites, because I have a couple Elites here that I personally love, and I'm gonna show you guys some more later. But these right here are from, like, you know, later on around 2012 to about 2014, I would say. And we got the Luke Harper, RIP to him, man. Just a legend. And then we got Razor Ramon right here, which is honestly one of my favorite Mattel figures that I have. I really like the entrance gear that they have on here. Obviously this vest is removable. This Steen right here actually comes with a bat and an entrance robe and a lot of other things that I just don't currently have out, but I am gonna show you guys some accessories later as well. See, you even had Walmart exclusive lines like the Superstar entrances, which I have a Roddy Piper here with the Hot Rod shirt and an unstable version of Dean Ambrose here. Honestly, one of my favorite WWE wrestlers back when I still watched it all the time, and Hot Rod's also an all-timer. It's honestly why I picked up the new version of him as well, because, you know, you gotta love Roddy Piper. We got Rob Van Dam here with the WWE Championship. You can obviously tell who was my favorite at the time that I was playing with these, and Rob Van Dam's still one of my favorite wrestlers. So, hell yeah to that. And then obviously you had 2-packs, like the Road Warriors came in. I don't feel like digging out. This is either Hawk or Animal. It's one of them. But yeah, the Road Warriors came in 2-packs along with many other tag teams, such as this David Hart Smith right here, which came with a Tyson Kidd that I definitely have somewhere in this box. I'm sure we'll get to him. And see, one thing I love about looking back at these figures and using my personal ones as an example is because with Mattel, I started to get a little experimental. You see, Randy Orton and Wade Barrett are two guys that at the time I bought their figures didn't have beards. But due to what I did to them, they both have beards. So, you know, I have a couple modified figures that are probably worth like 1 penny because of what I did to them. But, you know, you also had some kind of weird ones that were different. Like this Chris Jericho here is kind of like a, you know, like, hold on. Let me see if I can give you guys better. What the shit? That man's hand just flew off. Well, there goes Chris Jericho's hand, but you know, and of course I'm getting trolled because as I'm doing that, I'm sitting here looking at a damn Brodus Clay. And while we're here, I might as well just touch on some that I have in the box because I don't have many of them, but around when I quit collecting, I really didn't want to take them out the box because like I wasn't playing with them anymore. So I was like, well, I might as well just leave them mint as possible. This box did not stay mint, but as you can see, this is Adam Rose and the Bunny from 2015. It was also on clearance, so that's probably why I picked it up. But yeah, this box is like, you know, kind of fucked. The battle pack thing is kind of moving around in there. But I did think this was pretty cool to show you guys because this is kind of like a time capsule of what used to be on the shelves like 11 years ago, which is crazy. This is from 11 years ago. And then I have one that's kind of a little bit more recent, this 2024 Roman Reigns with the new articulation. And this kind of shows a little difference between these and the Mattel ones that I have here, because I think this is when they started actually using kind of like the face stands on the figures, which to me, this figure right here, I don't think even compares to the Roman figure I have from like 2015. I'm gonna actually see if I can find that real quick. See, I don't know. I honestly can't find the Roman Reigns right now because I just have so many figures in here, but this Rock zombie figure is, might be one of the most fucking cursed things I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, moving on swiftly past that, we got some people in here that aren't very popular anymore, like Alberto Del Rio. I remember back in 2012, probably when I got this figure, he was like on top of the world. It's kind of cool to see some guys in here that obviously, like Claudio Castello, I believe is his name now. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Yeah, he used to be known as Cesaro. Pretty cool figure there. And see, while we're here, I kind of wanted to take a little bit of a comparison between these real quick. You know, personally, I don't know that there's much of a difference here. You know, this one was probably bought around 2016, the Razor Ramon. This was bought literally today, so there's probably about a 10 or more year difference between these two figures. Mattel has kept a pretty consistent basis. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really miss the red and black boxes. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those right now. Like, I need to honestly get some because I love how those look in box. If you have a mint condition Zack Ryder red and black Mattel 2010 figure, hit my line, bro, because I'm looking to buy one of those. Zack Ryder was like my dude back in 2010, so yeah, if you got that, let me know. And then we also got the Miz right here. This thought is pretty cool. He has like the purple gear on. Haven't really seen a Miz figure in a long time, so it's pretty dope. I've looked at the Walmart shelves a little bit just to kind of look around at figures, and some of these guys you really just don't see on the shelf much anymore, obviously, because they've been just retired out. But you know, you have like the 2013, 14, I believe this was the WrestleMania edition line that they dropped when The Undertaker fought CM Punk. So this one's pretty cool. I want to say this was also a Walmart exclusive. Alright, so this is the part of the video where if you're not a collector or not interested in figures, which if you're watching this you probably are, but I'm about to just show off a bunch of different Mattel figures without really giving like a whole lot of information about each one because I want to go quick here. But I did want to show you guys just a lot of different figures that Mattel's came out with over the years because they've came out with a lot of really cool ones. So we got Hulk Hogan right here, which I believe is an Ultimate or Elite version. I don't think they even had Ultimates when I was still buying, so I'm just going to refer to all mines as Elites. I know they do have the Ultimate versions now, but I don't even have any of those to my knowledge. You got a base CM Punk right here, fan favorite. I really like the colors on this Kofi Kingston. As you can tell, the detail with these versus the Jakks and Hasbro, LJN, the detail on these is just way leads above. So that's all you can really say about that. I mean, just look at a less popular wrestler, but they still took a lot of time on the pants, the detailing of this Fandango right here. I finally found the Roman Reigns, so now we can compare the faces. So if you take this Roman Reigns right here, see if we can get the camera to focus on him. Well, either way, I'll pop up a picture if it won't focus. But this face on this Roman Reigns figure from 2014 when he was still in the Shield, I would honestly argue is more accurate than this 2024 one. Again, these are about 10 years apart. I really like the face sculpt on this 2014 Roman Reigns. But I mean, obviously he did look a little bit different 10 years removed. But if I had to go based off accuracy, I gotta give it to the older figure on that battle. And obviously back when I was still collecting, a lot of these figures were, or a lot of these guys were still new to the company, so I have a lot of their rookie figures like this Sami Zayn here. Have to give a shout out to the legend himself, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, RIP to him as well. Great figure right here. You got a Batista right here. I think this was actually one of the first figures I ever got from the 2010 line. This would have been back when they were still in those red and black boxes. You got a Big E Langston here, back when that was actually still his name. I don't even have a modern day Big E figure, but I do have this one. You got Mr. Feed Me More himself, Ryback right here. Honestly, really love this figure. The face kind of weeds me out on it, but it looks a lot better than the created superstar I have for him in 2K. You got this Kevin Owens right here, which is actually the last figure I remember ever buying in stores, and I believe it was around 2019 that I bought this one, up until today when I actually went and bought that Roddy Piper. But This one right here, this Kevin Owens, is pretty dope. I did have it in the box. I actually still have the packaging for this, but it's very similar to what they use for that Roman Reigns figure I have, so I didn't care to show that. Just a quick little intermission. They came out with these things called WWE Champs, and I honestly have no idea what this is, so I'm gonna open this up for you guys on camera because it'll be a surprise to me. As you can see, it looks like a championship belt. It's pretty cool. All right, let's pop it open. All right, comes in this bag, WWE Champs. Looks like a dog shit bag, but hopefully what we get in here isn't dog shit. Oh, well, I think I got a spoiler for who it is because it came with this little card that has Bianca Belair on it. But we'll see if that's who's in here. So let's go ahead and rip it open from this side, I reckon. Oh, hold on a minute. What the fuck? Bro, it comes in pieces and you actually build it. Shit like Lego. Hold on. Oh, yeah, so now we got half of Bianca Belair here. What the fuck? But I can't get no head. Come on. Oh, is it in a different section? Damn, why they put the head different than the body? What is this shit? All right, so we got the head out of there. As you see, certainly Bianca Belair. Looks kind of uncanny without the body on it. Hell yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if that's the number one I would have wanted to get. I don't know who all is in this set, but that's pretty dope. Honestly, my favorite wrestler is Randy Orton, so I probably would have went for that. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys that. WWE Champs. It's a new thing they got at Walmart. I wanted to do the complete history of this. I know I've probably missed a lot of stuff, and I didn't really want to buy every single item they have because this isn't really an official Mattel figure, but still something pretty cool. As you saw earlier, I had that 2014 version of CM Punk, or 2012, whenever that figure was from. But this right here is actually the SES 2010 version of Punk, or I actually believe this might have been an 09 look before he was even Straight Edge Society. I really like figures like this because it kind of takes me back to an era when I was a kid watching wrestling. You got good old Jomo here, John Morrison, another one of my favorites from when I was a kid. I don't know why his nose got so messed up. I think this was also within the first 10 wrestling figures I ever got, so this one got a lot of wear and tear. Another one of the first 10 figures I had ever gotten, I believe so, was this John Cena right here. Because I had multiple versions of Cena throughout the years, but this one was the 2010 version, and I actually added the elbow pads to him because I don't think Cena ever wore elbow pads for real, but I wanted him to have them. Don't really know why I blacked out the armbands too. I think I was trying to make him look like a more modern Cena because I didn't have money to buy a new Cena at the time. I didn't want to put this in earlier because it's kind of a sore subject, but I actually do have a Chris Benoit figure here. I believe I have 2 of him. So, you know, it says Crippler on the back. It's actually Benoit, not fucking with y'all. But, you know, separate the art from the artist. That one's a really tricky subject, so I'm not even gonna get into that. But Mark Henry here, big ass guy. And then you got Big Show here, another big ass dude. I used to have these guys fighting all the time. This is about a 2012 Big Show, probably around 2011 Mark Henry. Probably got these dudes around the same time. And then we got this Rey Mysterio right here, which was, I know for a fact, was one of the actually first 2 wrestling figures I ever got, was one of these Rey Mysterios, and it's still to this day probably one of my favorite figures, not only because of the memories, but also just because of the detail on it. This looks like an OG Rey, although I got this figure in 2010 and he did wear things similar to this, but this honestly looks like a more early 2000s Rey Mysterio, which is really dope. Another figure I'm seeing in here, just off rip, that I love, this MVP right here is a really awesome figure. I don't even think this was an Elite, but it probably was, just based off this middle piece right here where the chest moves. Typically, if they have that, It means that they're a special edition, whether it be an Elite, Ultimate, something of that sort. Oh boy. And stepping right off the island of obscurity, we have Trent Beretta. Good Lord, I haven't even thought of that name in so long. You have Kurt Hawkins. Shout out Major Wrestling Figure Podcast and Big Rubber Guys, I believe is what their line is called. I didn't mention them because they're not an official WWE line, but, or at least I don't believe they are. If they are, I apologize. But yeah, shout out to Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona. I mean, those guys are awesome. Brian Myers, yeah, that's Kurt Hawkins' real name. Shout out to them they do a great podcast, or they used to, they quit it. But they did a great podcast, and they put out some pretty cool wrestling figures, so yeah, go check them out. We got Mason Ryan here, which nobody probably even remembers, so we're just gonna move on from that. We got a Kane here from 2008, which I for some reason painted hair onto. I don't even know, man. Digging in the Mattel box, we also found a Jakks Pacific William Regal from when he was a general manager, I believe. So that's very interesting. Oh my God, dude. This figure right here is awesome. This Shawn Michaels with the black and silver gear, Heartbreak Kid right there. Man, like I have a couple versions of Shawn Michaels from what I remember, but this one is one of my favorite figures. I know I've said that about like literally all of them, but Mattel does some great work. And now I'm just gonna do some more I think are of interest. I mentioned the 2-packs earlier. Here we have the Usos, you know, back before the Tribal Chief days, donning their yellow gear. I remember them mainly wearing orange, but I definitely remember this attire too from back when they were kind of just doing the general Samoan gimmick. This figure right here, this Bret Hart, I know for sure was an Elite. I want to find the accessories of this because this figure is really dope. I love the detail once again on this. Can't say enough about Mattel. Then we got this Rusev right here, another pretty cool like OG figure from like 2014, around when he debuted. You got the around WrestleMania 30 version of Seth Rollins when he did that legendary cash-in on Roman Reigns with the half blonde hair. This was one of my favorite eras of Seth Rollins back when I still watched the product weekly. I don't actually have a Shield version of him, believe it or not, but I do have a Shield version of Dean Ambrose right here, which as you saw, the Walmart exclusive Dean Ambrose earlier, this is a Shield version of him. Very cool, I'm glad I have this. You got right here a Junkyard Dog, which doing a really weird pose right now, but another figure that's just honestly really well made. Junkyard Dog's one of my favorite 80s wrestlers. Really sad what happened with him, but that's a topic for another day. We got to show some love to the female wrestlers, and yes, I chose this one just to be a troll, but it's Michelle McCool. She pops up everywhere, so she had to make my video as well. Might as well, you know. And see right here we have probably the scariest out of the zombie figures, the Undertaker. He actually has like the bloody hands and everything. I don't know what that man just dropped. I got way too many accessories along with these guys, but we also have a very controversial figure here, Mr. McMahon. I highly doubt you're going to be able to find these on store shelves probably ever again. We also got this Triple H right here. I showed you a Jakks version of him, so I figured I'd show this for comparison. This Billy Gunn right here is also really cool with the green trunks. Color-wise, this is also another great figure. You honestly can't go wrong with a Sin Cara figure. This was actually, I believe, when Mystico was doing the fake Sin Cara. I have a normal version of him too, but yeah, these figures are dope. And then we got this Gold Dust here, who's donned with his entrance robe. Now, I almost snapped his arm off trying to get him fully into it, but yeah, this is another pretty cool figure. I'm gonna see if I can get him out of the coat. Ah, there we go. So yeah, cool Gold Dust figure, dope accessory. I'm gonna stop with the figure collection because this video is gonna be way too long if I don't. And I know that's not what the title of this video was, but I had to talk about some of them. But just quickly before we leave, want to talk about some accessories. Got a crutch here. Got, honestly, not even sure what this is. You have a table actually from the Rumbler series right here. These are some more Rumbler accessories. I got random t-shirts like this Heart Foundation one right here that can go on really any of the Heart Foundation members. I have Kamala's little, shield right here. One of the funniest accessories for a figure ever, Luke Harper actually came with these little alligators. I don't know how I remember that, but I do know that. This is actually one of the stands that came with some of the Jakks Pacific figures. Pretty dope, I would say. And just to prove I did have Slam shit at one time, this is a briefcase from the Money in the Bank Slam set. So just to show you guys I'm not capping. And then I have miscellaneous things like a bent kendo stick that has ED. A nice stretcher right here in case you need to wheel anybody out of the arena. I even got this from the WWE Rumblers set where they could have a Money in the Bank match. Honestly, really dope. Hold on, let me see if my Booker T can sit up on here. Yeah, there we go, Booker T on the ladder. Hell yeah. You gotta love shirts like this D-Generation X one right here as well. You got Ultimate Warrior's entrance robe, which I can't believe I didn't show him in this video, probably further down in the box. And then I got some championship belts here, like this NXT one that looks weird. We got the Heavyweight Wrestling Championship from the 90s there. You got I believe this was a 90s belt, I believe, right here. See, I have a lot of the vintage figures. This is one of my favorites. I tried to turn it into the NWO belt, but this is just the OG Heavyweight Championship that they use on SmackDown. And I believe this was from the Jakks Pacific figures, so that's actually not Mattel. And then we have the European Championship right here, which is really dope. And as you saw, the WWE Championship on Rob Van Dam. I have a bunch more I could show you guys, and if you want me to do a full comprehensive going over every bit of wrestling stuff that I have, I will do it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't too rambly or too long for you guys, and make sure to come back for whatever I'll make next, and leave me a comment down below what you want me to talk about, whether it be more wrestling topics or something else. Hope you peeped the Enzo Amore shirt. This is the only one I could find that still fit me. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.